Look, CEO pocketbooks can't be our primary concern right now. We got to think about everybody's health, workers' pocketbooks, Main Street small businesses. But part of all this is maintaining support for the actions that are being taken now and looking ahead to the consequences of all this unprecedented action. And all the fear that everybody has right now about what's going on in the market and watching their pensions and 401ks diminish is all going to turn from fear to anger if CEOs and corporate executives make a killing here. And it's one thing to ban buybacks during a bailout. That's kind of an obvious issue and clearly a bad use of cash, although I don't think a very likely use of cash. But the real backlash will come if companies that are helped grant options to their top executives at these deeply beaten down prices, and then off the back of government loans or government bailbacks, their stock rebounds and they're able to make a killing having gotten stock options or restricted stock at these incredibly low levels. So it's one thing to watch out for wasteful use of money like buybacks in the midst of this. It's another thing to make sure that the kind of things that are really going to generate anger down the road we protect against.
Yeah, I mean, you noted in your op-ed, I mean, the airlines have taken $40 billion in buybacks over the last, 10 years or so. Now they're looking for relief, and they will probably get it and may deserve it because we need them to be up and running once this is over. But our memories, Tom, are not that long lost from 2008, 2009, 2010. There's still going to be a lot of anger around this when all the dust is settled.
I think that's absolutely right, Brian. But you look back to 2008 and the auto bailouts, and the CEO of Ford at the time got a reduced salary package, saved some cash for the company in the midst of that, but also got a stock option package that somehow was valued at the time at about $16 million. 2 years later, in 2011, that was worth $200 million. And it just makes absolutely no sense to allow corporate executives who are getting bailouts to get stock grants of any kind that allow for that kind of huge compensation bonanza in the midst of this. And that's the kind of thing that will just create enormous anger and has to be protected against.
You know, Tom, one of the companies that you work with, actually you run, Winview and others, involves online gaming. I want to switch gears just a bit. Online gaming. We're seeing the world change in many ways right now. We are learning that maybe we don't need to work in the way that we used to. Maybe we don't need to play in the way that we used to. There was a virtual NASCAR race on linear television on Fox Sports over the weekend. What are your projections for how this ultimately changes how we work, how we live, and how we play?
Well, I've been following this area very closely because Winview, as you know, is in the midst of a merger with two other companies, one of which is a public company called Torque Esports that specializes in car racing. And it has been putting on esports competitions that are available to watch from home. And the surge in viewership, the surge in visibility that they have gotten over the last week is quite astounding. Something that I think is going to be part of a long-term trend as we're all at home thinking more and more about how do you entertain yourself at home to be able to have that kind of ongoing sporting event that is virtual and not real but has all the excitement of a real sporting event is something that is clearly a major macro trend. So I am convinced that we will come out of this with a lot of changed habits about entertainment, about work, and generally what it means to turn your home into something where you can be incredibly productive in ways that we haven't thought about before.